want because people can post what they want. But I think the difference between Facebook and like other platforms is that Facebook has less accountability. Like people can have very little consequences on Facebook and they can post whatever what they want. And I think it's been a big problem for a long time.
One of the common answers I've been getting from people is Facebook is for old people.
And not necessarily.
I don't think
like my roommate uses Facebook. It's just that a lot of like it's not really a lot of accountability, and I feel like it needs to be more like fact checked. Like a lot of Twitter and Instagram, like if you post fake stuff on there, they'll take it down. But Facebook, it kind of leaves room for these like fake things. So I think that's why it's kind of dying, because a lot of people are trying to realize that.
I think Facebook's also a lot less casual than Twitter or Instagram. Those are pretty.
And it's more like
flippant with
and it's also like more personal. Like on Instagram, like you can have a lot of followers from like people you don't know, but on Facebook, like
it's very personal.
It's very personal. So like it feels like you're like being held back because you can't post like what you want because like your family can see it.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Let me ask you this: is it better to be single or married?
Fuck.
The institution of marriage as a whole is, I feel like, is outdated.
Outdated? So you think you can be like you want like a more independent person?
Absolutely. From a young age, I've been really.
What about just like a long-term relationship? Like,
or a long-term
relationship? I would be in a long-term relationship, but I feel like the institution of marriage as a whole, like outside of the U.S., it's not really that relevant. Like the only, like as far as I'm concerned, like the only reason that I see to get married would be for like tax benefits and like medical purposes.
But I think it's also like you can't put marriage and being single as either or. Because I think they're completely like being single and being in a relationship. Those are two completely different realities.
But and also like even being in a relationship and being married is different too, because like I've heard of couples where like they've been together for 10 years and then they get married and they divorce after like 2 years. And I feel like marriage puts on like a unhealthy amount of pressure on people to be a certain way or to like conform to like what being a married person is like. And I feel like for a lot of people, at least for me personally, like I don't see any reason to get married to someone. Like if I love someone, like why would I need like a ring and a piece of paper to show what I care about them, you know what I mean? So.
I think they're just different. They each have their benefits and their setbacks.
What apps do you use?
Apps?
Yeah,
like
on your
social
phone. On your phone.
Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Gmail, YouTube.
I kind of use the same stuff minus Twitter. I use Depop. I use Snapchat as well. I use I've been scrolling to the left and I've been reading the news on the news tab on Apple. I use I use photos a lot.
TikTok?
Yeah, I use
TikTok.
Oh my
God.
I use TikTok too.
I just got a TikTok. I was bullied into doing it.
I use a lot of like Postmates and DoorDash. And then in terms of like school apps, I use a lot of like GroupMe, which is kind of like iMessage but for school. I use Kahoot because teachers have been.
Sorry.
A lot of people have been using Kahoot for Zoom, so I've been using that recently. Google Docs.
What kind of questions would you ask if you were doing the interview?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
What kind of questions would you ask if you was doing the interview?
I like to ask people their thoughts on love, their thoughts on whether or not college is a scam.
Yeah. I think like.
What is your thoughts on college is a
personal
scam?
questions. I like personal questions.
Well, you're in college, so obviously you don't think it's a scam.
Well, no, I think I can still talk on it.
Or like I would ask like what drew you to New York? Aside from the whole like making your dreams thing, like whatever, like what like aside from all of that.
Why New York
bullshit,
and not Philadelphia?
Yeah,
right?
why New York and not Chicago or Boston or Atlanta or like any of those cities? Like why New York specifically? Also like what do you believe in? Like what are your personal like thoughts on various things that I would ask and like.
Yeah, that's funny you said that because I have a friend, he's black, and he went to Atlanta. I was like, why'd you go to Atlanta? Because he said that's just where black folks go.
Yeah, so kind of like that's what I would ask, like why New York and like what.
But I'm like, why not Louisiana? Why not Alabama?
Yeah,
Why not Mississippi?
Exactly.
That's where black folks go too.
More city.
Yeah.
That's a lot more progressive.
I think I would ask like that or like I would ask some like silly questions. Like I would be like,
you had to be any color. What color?
Yeah, like what type of
Boxers or briefs?
Yeah, like what type? How do you like your eggs? Or like what's your favorite way to like, I don't know.
Your least favorite president.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what's your least favorite president? Or like, what's a weird like quirk you like? Or like, what's your guilty pleasure TV show? Or what book have you read that you've absolutely hated? Like stuff like that. Like I like those like really like quirky questions that like at first seem surface level, but like once you like really break it down, it kind of gets really into like the person's character.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do with this, because you get a lot of people online. They ask 20 people the same question.
Yeah, no,
and then all the answers are one-liners.
Like, what's the worst thing you've ever eaten from a New York hot dog stand? Like, where like, you know, like, what's one advice you could give to someone who just moved to New York that doesn't? It's not like a basic piece of advice.
Yeah.
It's like something like that.
Do you make videos yourselves?
She does.
I do. I have a YouTube channel.
Can you tell us about it?
Yeah.
I'm her biggest fan.
Can I speak?
Sorry, you go.
Thank you. I started it when I was a senior in high school. Then I got depressed and I stopped uploading, so I took like a 1.5 year long break. Then I came back when I moved back to New York, mostly just because I wanted to document my outfits and fun things that I do in New York pretty much. I kind of just do it from memories. I like to film my friends and I and the things we do. Today I'm currently filming random things I did on a Sunday in New York video. So.
What advice would you have for other creators?
Oh shit. Well, I see a lot of successful people say that what is it? It's like don't look at the numbers. Do what you not want, like not what you think people would want to see. I mean, it helps to do what people would want to see, but at the end of the day, it's your channel, it's your content. You're the one filming and editing it, so make sure it's something that you actually like, not just some like bullshit that you think other people would want to watch.
But also, I feel like maybe this doesn't apply to you, but like for a lot of people, like a lot of people are like, oh, like they don't owe you anything, and like yeah, obviously they don't. But I feel like on some level, it's a creator's responsibility to preach a good message to their audience because a lot of their audience can be impressionable. So I think that it's important to realize that while you don't owe anybody anything, it's also important for you as the content creator to put out a message that's positive, and to make sure that your audience is like aware of like certain things and making sure that they're not doing anything bad that you influence them to do. But she would never do that, so I don't have any problem with that.
Tell me about your most successful content.
I did a tattoo tour. That's the most successful video that I have. That and
her Depop is really successful. She has like over 1,000 followers and she sells a lot of clothes. So
yeah, I like to sell clothes.
She's also on Twitter and she's really funny. So I'm just gonna gas her up because she's really funny. But yeah, her Depop is really successful. Like all my friends, I always tell all my friends to buy from her. And like she has like over 1,000 followers, which in like Depop land is like it's like a lot. So I think that it's really cool.
But to answer your question, my best video is my tattoo tour.
What kind of response are you getting from your fans?
Everyone's been very, very nice to me. I don't have a big following on YouTube.
I'm her biggest fan.
500 subscribers.
Don't get it twisted. I'm her biggest fan.
Everybody's really, really nice. I usually ask like what I can fix or like what they liked about the video, what they didn't like about the video. A lot of my subscribers are just like my friends and my mom. So shit, that's where most of my comments come from.
They better support you, right?
Yeah. I mean, I just like it because we don't live close together, so I like watching it because I like to see what her day was like. That's how like I see what she does and like keep in contact.
I'm very casual.
And I text her after every video saying that I liked it. So
my shit fire.
Very supportive.
Yeah, very supportive.
What are y'all doing for Thanksgiving?
We're hanging out together.
Just the two of you?
Yeah.
What's on the dinner table?
Chinese food.
Nice. Fantastic. How about New Year's Eve? What y'all got going on?
I'm going back home to hang out with my mom, so I think I'm gonna see some of my high school friends.
You gonna do a countdown?
Yeah, probably not because of Corona. So, fuck.
Just at home, staying at home?
Stay at home.
I'm probably gonna go hang out with my cousins. I have a very small family.
In New York or in San Francisco?
In San Francisco. I have a very small family, so I only have 2 cousins, 2 immediate cousins. So I usually just spend most of my breaks with them.
Right.
Yeah, and my family is like Russian Orthodox, and so the Christmas like Christmas falls on New Year's, like in this calendar, but that's when the Russian Christmas is, so we usually get presents on New Year's, which is nice. So, yeah, and then also my birthday is over the break, so I get like 3 types of presents. So
Fantastic.
that's why I like coming back. But also just to see my family, and my dad and I usually have like a joint birthday dinner because our birthdays are a day apart. So I like spending time with my dad, and we usually do like a dinner together. And yeah, so I don't see him as often, so it's nice to like have that one-on-one time.
Would you like to plug any social media?
Follow me on Instagram at Jazmin E Cheek, and follow my book account at My Life Through Books
With an extra S.
and my YouTube channel at Jazmin Alexis.
And then you can follow my Instagram at _Zinia Gonikberg, XENIAGONIKBERG. You can also follow my Depop. It's the same thing except without the underscore. And you can look up my name on Google and you can read my articles. Thank you very much.
Nice. You're a future journalist, right?
Yes.
So we should look out for you on the New York Times.
Yeah. I'm hopefully, maybe
Washington
not the New York
Post.
Times, but definitely I'm trying to get an internship with Politico this summer. So hopefully,
Good luck with that.
thank you very much. Hopefully working in either DC or in New York for a publication like that, something.
Any shout outs?
Hi, Mom! And Dad.
Yeah, shout out to my mom and dad. Shout out to Haley, my roommate. She's the best. I love her. Shout out to all my friends back home. You know who you are. I love you very much.
Shout out Eden, Jimmy Cheez-Its on TikTok. Hey guys!
Happy Ryan. Shout out to my dog Zeus. He's my favorite. I love him very much. Shout out to my friends Nonso, Isla.
Shout out to you
Amaya.
for interviewing us.
Yeah, thank you very much for interviewing us.
You're welcome. Do I have your permission to put this on the internet?
Yes.
Oh, shout out to Stony Brook and Benedict College and the
All right.
journalism department, and
You have my permission to put this on the internet.
yeah, same with me. Shout out to Jonathan Sanders and Jonathan Anzalone from the Stony Brook School of Journalism department, and Zachary Dowdy.
All right. Fantastic.